All right, we're back today, and I've got a lot of progress in the last week. It seems like, I said this one time before, you get to a certain point, then it all comes together and you go, wow, this is a lot done. So what I'm going to start, and I don't recognize it, Emil taking the pictures, he sees it because he comes over when I get something done. But I've got a lot done, and what I've done in the last week, I've mounted the front fenders, I mounted the headlight buckets, and the lights are in the front. And today, I had the pinstriper come out and put the pinstriping on the fenders. And the car originally, the guy called it the Little Imp. And I had him put that on here. And I don't know if the last one showed that I painted a gold what do you call it, stripe around the middle of it. And I put the plexiglass window in. I'm waiting for it to dry, and that's turned out okay. So I've also wired it, and there was a lot of wiring in this car. I did oh man, I'm not a wire. There's only three things that are electrical in the car. This is the fan, then I have the ignition switch over there, and the fuel pump. Or this is the fuel pump, and the battery's not connected, but fuel pump, fan, and ignition switch. So that's all the wiring that's in the car, because the starter is this Moon gas pedal, and I don't know if I've shown it before or not, but the way the old Chevrolet 6-cylinders started, you pushed a rod, and it came down and moved this against this, and it would turn it over when this was pushed in. And so you don't need a starter button or a key, use that, but you've got to have an ignition. So I've got that all wired, all the electrical stuff is wired, and the steering wheel, I've painted it, and it turned out pretty nice. It was broke right here, and this whole chunk was out of it. Well, I took it to Bondo and Bondoed it in, and it's okay. It ain't great, but it's okay. So this worked, and I put the rear fenders in on it, and I decided, I think I said this in another video, I left the fenders in the bed the way it was when I got it. I wire brushed them with a 4-inch grinder, and then I osphosed them, then I wire brushed them again, and did the same thing to the bed, then I painted it. So it left all the, as they call it now, patina in it. It's got the, where it had rusted and left like BB shots in it. Now on the front fenders, I took them, and these were what I did first. And I spent a lot of time getting these things to this point, and then I came in and painted them, and when I did it, I went, oh man, I should have left them the way they were. That way you could see what the car used to be. But they're done. The headlight buckets, I left the patina, the rust in them. I cleaned them down to the metal and then painted over it. The grill shield, it was good shape, nothing wrong with it. Had a bad place down low, but I got that out of it. And this painted up real nice. I had the pinstriper do this work on it, and he put an eye in here. And then down here is the V8 emblem. And coming around here, this, I had to build this Fender Support, and I first put one rod that came up and bent the way the fender bends, and that didn't hold nothing, so I put another rod here, and it was still flimsy, so I put the third rod here, and now I like it better than the original. I welded a washer out here that holds a 1/4-inch bolt that'll hold this in. Then I cut some tubing here because this light, the fender sits under the light, and the bolt goes through there, and the tubing's here, and it holds it all together. The next thing that I've done, I just got today, this is the drag link, and it just came in today, and number one, it wasn't long enough, and the other part, I had to cut it because the way I got this Pitman Arm set up where it's at now compared to the original one, it didn't work. So I cut it and then put it on here, and I was able to put it up here on the tiller arm. And I will put a rod, same size rod, I'll weld it in here, and on the outside of this, I'll put a piece of tubing about that long, and I'll slide it up here, I'll weld this together, then I'll slide the tubing over that and weld it, and then rosebud it in a couple places, and it'll stick together, it'll never come apart. Like I did the Pitman Arm, I had to move this arm, had to move it from, I don't know what the angle, let's call it like, it was sitting like that, so I cut it loose, then I welded it all up front and back, and just for safety I put like a gusset on it. This welds to this, and this is all welded in here, so that'll never come apart either. So that turned out pretty good. The Fenders, this brace, originally they had this, I'll bring it here. This was what the car had on it, where the fenders were, and it, let's see how it goes. It went like this, and this Pitman Arm wasn't here, and this was it. And that just, to me, I didn't like it. I'll show you on the other side when we go back over the way that it turned out. So coming on back, I got the guy built the seat for it, and I'm going to bolt it in. And I've been told it looks very uncomfortable. Well, it is, but it's a quarter-mile car, so you're not in it all day long. And so that's done. And then coming back, here's the other fender that I did. And this, when I built the frame, restored it, I put the axle, the rear axle, where they had it originally. Well, when I went to put the fenders on, if you look here, this is the original body line, where this fender should have fit right in here. Well, it wouldn't work that way because they had moved the axle for it, and I didn't know that, and I left it where it was at. So I put this, we took the fender and I cut, I think, 6 inches off the front. And then because if you put it the way it's supposed to be, this hit here. But when I cut the 6 inches off, you twisted it this way. You see how it comes back here on the back. And somebody that don't know wouldn't know the difference, but normally they hang down to about here. Mm-hmm. And this way it looks a little more sleeker. Yeah. And this was Joe's idea. He told me, we were talking about it, he said, why don't you just turn them up? And I did. And it turned out nice. Yeah, I like it.
Isn't that the way they did the gassers? They moved the front axle up?
I think they did, yeah. And that's probably the reason why, because this thing was an F-gas.
Yeah.
And here's the other fender that goes over it. There I've got...
Wow, it's dramatic when you look at how beautiful that fender is compared to the what it came with. And the camera doesn't capture it really well, but wow, Fred.
Yeah, it's a world of difference. And then the doors, I don't know if this is going to glare too much on you. Let's look at this one. This one will be a little...
Yeah, it's a sunny day.
Yes. This, I don't know, I think I've said this before. Joe did the doors, and this is all new metal from here down to the bottom. So this door is slick. This is on the driver's side. And you can see I left the rust and everything in here. And again, I sanded it down. I went through the whole process. So it's in here, and then as well as in here, you can see the little pits. But the sign painter was just here today. And the guy that originally had the car, his name's Gwendol, but he had a garage and he called it Burns Filling Station. So that's what I put on it.
Filling.
Yeah, filling station.
Yes, sir.
And again, Joe did the top of these, did an outstanding job on it. But look how that paint shines. I mean, is that nice? You know, here. And this is Rust-Oleum.
Yeah.
Same paint, Rust-Oleum on the fenders. This
Yeah.
is $29 a gallon. The same paint in red and base coat, clear coat would have probably cost $600 to $800.
Yeah.
For under $50, I painted this truck. You know, this I used a spray can on. This, the letter, the hand guy, he did that, the hand lettering. But you can see where Joe put the new metal in here, and it went up in here, and then he bent this in it. And I screwed up. I didn't realize that I'd done this down here, but we'll put my hand over it. So don't show it on the TV. Well, the guy that originally owned the car, apparently back in the 50s, they gave a drag racer a number and F-gas, and this is the tag that you got from Tampa Dragway, which is, you know where it was at? Tampa
Where
Dragway.
is that?
And where Rooms to Go is on the interstate.
Yeah.
That was the drag strip.
Oh, okay.
So this is where I'm at now. Oh, let me show you the wheels and tires. These rims were originally on the car in 1961. When I got the car, one was on the car and the other one was laying outside. Well, he had painted them orange. And so what I got is these beauty rings, and I think I'm going to paint them orange, and they'll go in here and they'll cover up this rust that's in here. So that'll go like that. When I get it done, I'll let you know where I'm going with it, but you see how that,
Oh, that'll look nice.
yeah.
Wow.
So the tires, a friend of mine, he couldn't use the tires for some reason, so we made some trading, and I didn't realize today, he said, you want some white wall tires? And I said, yeah, I'd get nice with black. Well, when he brought them over, I wasn't here, and he left them, and they're Coker tires, so them expensive tires, you know, and when I get them on here and get the doors on, man, this thing's gonna look neat, so I'm excited about it. Hopefully, end of next week, it'll be running, unless I run into some kind of problem with the engine, but it'll be running and everything will be together.
Neat.
So that will be, what did we determine?
Well-
November, December, January, February, 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at.